Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put billions of my actions. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact of them here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new cock smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devil's design 5 for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said so.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact of them here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels.
my blood slim, it won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms, watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5, I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell, praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Yeah. All right. Clap it up. All right, man. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakathum. Yahweh Shamar Aladun Ba'Shem Yahushua. I am Priest and Officer Thawashab of the Isupk. Started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible, right? So it's the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Every single Tuesday, we broadcast from Orlando, right? So if you're in the Central Florida area, stop on by. We in Hart Memorial Library, 211 East Dakin Avenue, every single Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. All right, get all your questions answered directly. All right, so being that it is Brotherhood, we're going to discuss topics biblically and articles pertaining around Brotherhood. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I see I got some powerful brothers with me. You know what I mean? Big up. Austin the Shock, also Isupk. Got Trooper Kanak as well. You know what I'm saying? Brothers out in West Palm, holding it down. Big up to y'all brothers, the water to have y'all on. Shalom, everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all click on the sign-in sheet if you're looking to get a Hebrew name, you're new to the school. You're trying to get credit for the class, you need to sign in, all right? All right, your participation is needed in order to receive your Hebrew name. So just click on the link, it's in the YouTube chat, fill out the info, and that way you'll get credit. Also, if anybody want to join live, want to join the broadcast, just click on the link right here or copy and paste it, however you got to do it. It's right in the YouTube chat. Brothers, sisters, anybody. Salakia. Brothers, sisters, anybody who wants to join, feel free to join, man. You know what I'm saying? Just right here, click on the link or copy and paste on the YouTube chat, all right? All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you don't, I'll jump into the topic as usual, man. So like I always mention every week, mandatory class is every Monday out here in Florida, scripture breakdown class. You know what I'm saying? You got some powerful brothers breaking down the scriptures for you. Officer Kazak, Austin the Shock, Isupk, all the brothers out there. I've seen the brothers from Tampa on there as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you need any questions answered pertaining to the scriptures or about life in general, right, that involves the scriptures, make sure you tune in every Monday. But if you have any questions that's possibly lingering that you didn't get an opportunity to ask, feel free to ask. This is your chance to do so. All right. So I'm going to give y'all some time. If you have anything or anything you want to formulate, we're going to get it rocking and rolling. All right. So for today's topic, let me put the title up. I don't know if y'all can see it. Bobbity. Give me 1 second. All right. No, you can't see it. Can you see it? No, you can't. All right. But yeah, the title, for the topic for today's class is the stigma of mental health within the Black community, right? There is a huge stigma in regards to mental health when it comes to being Black, right? Or Hispanic or Native Indian. You know what I'm saying? Mental health is very much prevalent within our community, right? This is something that we can't avoid, right? It do exist, right? The issues that pertain around mental health, we suffer from day in and day out without any resource to get any resolution behind it or to talk to somebody about it, right? We often stigmatize it and, clown on people that want to seek help for their mental health or their mental well-being, right? When that is something that we do need help on as a collective, as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Because, boy, what a time to be alive, man, right? Right? There's so many topics and, things that's going on in the earth. And two things that came out recently that was pretty much popularized on the social media. The one where I know y'all heard about this one, the one in the submarine that imploded. I went to go see the Titanic. You know what I mean? A whole bunch of billionaires spent about $250,000 to hop in some tin can of a submarine to see 100-year-old boat that sunk under the sea, and they all end up dying, right? And the other story I seen as well, I'm sure y'all all heard this, where the brother that was frustrated with a Black woman at a restaurant or something like that, they was arguing, exchanging words. This brother was so upset, he got emotional, whatever it may be, and strike the sister, right? And the sister was there with her 14-year-old son, and he witnessed this brother striking his mother. And from that point, their story saying that where the mother told him to get the gun or gave him the gun or whatever it may be, somehow, some way, the brother had the gun, had a firearm, and he shot at the man that struck his mother and ended up killing him. Right? Now, days after, they got arrested for murder. Now the charges have recently been dropped, right? And the reason why I bring up these two is, all right, because each and every time, every other week, you're gonna find a new story that's gonna go on this earth. And the thing with our oppressor, with his story, is he get to live a life where he's a billionaire and millionaire and have an abundance of wealth to where he has the luxury to go out into the sea to see 100-year-old boat that sunk under the sea. That's the lifestyle that he lives. Now, we can make the memes about it. We can do all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, what other way would you want to go out other than doing something that you enjoyed to do, that you wanted to be a part of? You get what I'm saying? And they are millionaires, but they have that luxury. They have the time to where they can just do what they want on this earth. And on the flip side, the reality of Black people, our day-to-day interaction is revolving around misery. Right? If you want to understand the Black community, all you have to do is look at that recent video that went viral in that restaurant. Right? The actions that transpired in that restaurant, like, there's a whole bigger picture to it. That if you want to get a whole summary of how life is like in the Black community in regards to mental health, that video is a perfect representation. All right? And it's a very unfortunate situation. All right? And here's why I say what I say. All right? It's a lot here. My stand is messed up. All right? Here's why I say what I say. All right? You got young boys within our communities with firearms that's harming other brothers who feel justified in doing what they got to do. Right? And this situation, you had a 14-year-old who had made a tough decision and what he felt was right in defending his mother. Right? And the flip side, you have a whole brother who's having seems like a mental breakdown. You know, who knows what this man was going through, right? Having a whole episode in that restaurant, not justifying what he did, right? But this man is clearly not right, right? And that is something that's also a representation of what's going on in our community as well, right? You got a whole bunch of brothers out there that's not right mentally, lashing out, who feel like the world don't care about them, who can't express nothing, who can't get the help that they need, so they just go to what's natural to them, right? To act with violence and be physical. Then you also have the sisters, the black women, right, who feel that they can argue with whoever man they feel like they can talk down, they belittle whoever they want, and if there is an altercation, right, they can either get their cousins, their homeboys, their brothers, and whoever to go and defend their cause, even if they're in the wrong or not, right? And also you have where there's no male presence, right? There's no masculine figure that can resolve any of those issues and that problem that transpired in a restaurant, right? Which is a representation of what goes on in our community, right? This is the whole synopsis of what's going on amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The young is out there, you know, committing crime, shooting, and committing violence, right? You got also the other half of them is bugged out on drugs, also committing violence. Then you have our sisters who feel like they don't need a man, that don't want to listen to a man, you know what I'm saying? They feel like they can do whatever they want without any consequence. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go into the scriptures and read about the reality of Black people, right? Your day-to-day life as a Black man is recorded in the Bible, right? If you ever want to understand your life as a Black man, right, Hispanic man or Native Indian man, woman and child, all you have to do is pick up the Bible. The Bible gives a perfect description of who you are, right? Because this book is the source of your identity, right? It tells you everything about who you are. You know why? Because it belongs to you. All right? This book called the Bible belongs to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Everybody in this book is Black. All the figures are Black. All the important figures, the Israelites are Black. God's chosen people are Black. Christ is Black. The Messiah, all of that. They all Black. The angels, they Black. You get what I'm saying? And what we're going through right now in our current situation is recorded in the Bible. He said, your voice is not clear. Can y'all hear me good or not?
Nah, sir. Yeah, you got an issue with your mic. We can hear you.
How about now? Can y'all hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Yes, Locky. So nobody heard nothing I said, huh?
No, we heard you. You were
okay.
coming in with staticky. Okay.
All right. Salakia, everybody. You know, I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I hope y'all understood what I was trying to say. I hope y'all heard it to the best of y'all ability. You know what I'm saying? And I'll make it clear for y'all. You know what I mean? I'll help y'all understand what's going on, right? If somebody can grab me the scripture where it says, I will smite thee with madness in Deuteronomy, Baba Kasha. All right. And also, you know, to mention on that video as well, which is very, very tragic, you know what I'm saying? And that just one of the many cases that happened to get recorded on Well, 1 second. Well, let me just prep it with this. That happened to get recorded on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because that story is quite common within the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Because this is something that we suffer from within, right? Whether it's mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be, this is something that we suffer from, right? And then now you have people who's very presumptuous on the whole situation, that feel the need to get online, to get in social media, to talk on a podcast, and find a way to trash the Black man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it always comes down to. You know, trashing the Black man, how Black man ain't nothing, Black man ain't this and that. Now, was the brother wrong? Yes, he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Was the sister wrong? She was wrong as well, too. Was the 14-year-old wrong? Yes, he was wrong as well, too. Everybody was messed up. You know what I'm saying? And this is a far greater issue than what meets the eye. Right? This is a whole scope of what's going on in the Black community that we don't want to address. And that is our mental health. All right? And if I could, I just want to mention, just so I can clear the air, you know, the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
All right? If you really want to, we're going to get to the bottom of this mental health stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand this first, so I can clear the air, so we can make no mistakes to think that I'm blaming Black people for what we're going. You know what I'm saying? The first thing I do want to mention is the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. All right? Now let's go ahead and get these scriptures real quick, boy.
Good.
All right, you got it, soldier.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall smite thee with madness.
And the Lord would do what?
Smite thee with madness.
Right. Now, what we're reading about in Deuteronomy 28 and 28 is one of the key figures within the Bible that indicates who the children of Israel are today, right? Because starting out in the beginning of that chapter, it's telling you how Moses is speaking to the children of Israel and children of Israel only, letting them know if they keep the commandments of God, that the Lord will bless them, right? And raise them above everybody on this earth, right? So starting from verse 1 all the way to 15 is the blessings. But from 16 on down, all the way to 68 within that chapter, is all the curses that will come upon the children of Israel if they didn't keep the commandments of God, right? And this is how you know that this book is talking about us, right? Because all the curses that's written from 16 all the way to 68 perfectly fits Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know why? Because we are the chosen people of God. All right? In this situation, it is a lose-lose situation what's happening in that restaurant. Nobody wins. I don't care what charges got dropped. This 14-year-old now is traumatized for having a body on his conscience, and also another Black man is dead by the hands of a Black man, right, who had 2 children. All right, he was a father himself. All right. Now this sister as well too have to, find a way to protect her son, because guess what? Now his family might want to retaliate towards his son. All right, it's a whole messy situation, man. Nobody was justified. No justice was served in this situation. But we have to understand what the greater issue is, right? Read that one more time for me, Warrior.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
The Lord shall do what?
Smite thee with madness.
Read on.
And blindness.
Mm-hmm.
And astonishment of heart.
And of what?
Astonishment of heart.
Now, what is this talking about? What is this saying? What is this scripture saying here?
It's lucky.
Go ahead.
It's saying that the Lord shall smite thee with madness, meaning like mental health, mental illness. Like how you see we call them winos, I see the people that became alcoholics and to the point of now they what you would call crazy, walking down the street talking and yelling at themselves, or just
Mm-hmm.
talking and yelling at the air, like because there's nobody there and they going through having a mental issue and a mental problem, and the
Mm-hmm.
blindness is like they won't see a way out of it.
Mm.
They'll be blind to the fact of how destroyed they are
Mm-hmm.
and how destroyed they've become, and they won't see without the Lord's help a way out of it.
Damn right. Damn right. Give the brother a hand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that slavery has its effects. Oppression has its effects, right? The way we live in our day-to-day life as blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people is not normal, right? And if you continue on and living a lifestyle in which we live, which is oppression, right, it's going to have some type of effect on you. You understand? You got to understand that the mind is very fragile, right? You can shape your mind and break your mind and to make it to do whatever somebody commands it to do, right? And your oppressor understands that, right? He understands how the human body works and how the human mind behaves, right? And oppression can break somebody's mind. It can cause you to have mental illness, right? And this is one of the things that we don't want to discuss within our communities, as if it don't exist. But meanwhile, like we discussed last week, right? When your oppressor goes shoot up a school, or when he goes shoot up a Walmart, or when he commits some act of terrorism and runs over a parade of people that's protesting, right? The first thing that they want to mention about that oppressor, you know what I'm saying, or the perpetrator is, well, what about his mental health, right? Or was he being loved at home, right? That's the first thing that they discuss when it comes amongst them, right? But nobody want to address the issues when it comes towards us, when it's in regards to us, right? We do suffer from mental illness, right? You have so many categories that fall under that, right? You have what? Anxiety, name me some. Anxiety, bipolar. Go ahead.
PTSD.
PTSD, trauma,
It's like a depression,
depression,
schizophrenia.
schizophrenia. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
My bad.
not like it, sir. It's like I was saying the same thing you said. Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia.
You got kids like you.
Go ahead.
You got kids with ADD, ADHD.
ADHD. What else? Split personality disorder.
And Salakia, sir,
Go ahead.
the biggest one that we suffer from, Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. Oh man. And then that one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can hear me? Go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think one of the biggest, the Stockholm syndrome is really crucial, but I think all black people suffer from low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. That's a good one.
Everybody on the earth is better than us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man.
Mm-hmm. If y'all could, so if somebody can look up microaggressive racism.
Micro.
Yeah. If you can pull up the psychological articles that you can find on that. If somebody can pull that up. Now, everything y'all brother's name is right on. You know what I'm saying? It's spot on to what we deal with day by day in our communities, man. You know what I'm saying? And all of this is nothing but a byproduct of the oppression that we suffered here in America, man. what I'm saying? The Lord said if we don't keep his commandments, right? If we don't follow God and do what he tells us to do, and we choose to do what we want to do, following an oppressor and following his ways, guess what? We're going to suffer from the mental illness. We're going to suffer from low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? We're going to suffer from Stockholm syndrome. We're going to suffer from depression. Because that's the state that this society will leave you in as a black man, the more you try to join it, the more you try to involve yourself in it, right? Because your spirit don't align with this world, man. Your spirit was made to serve God. You align with the words that's written in the Bible, this book called the Bible. If you want to heal your illness, heal your sicknesses, right? Mentally and physically, you know what I'm saying? It's found in these records. It's found within your culture and your heritage on who you really are. You know what I'm saying? But because we're suffering here without an identity, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we're going to have certain things that's going to happen to us that affects us mentally. You know what I'm saying? And all these things affects us. Not having identity, boom, right then and there. You're not having an identity, you're born with a mental illness, right? You come out the womb with low self-esteem, right? As soon as you come out your mother's matrix, you're already programmed and taught that you're less than. That you're not really, great as the other societies because you don't have an identity. You don't have something that can empower you that belongs to you. Mentally, as you grow older, that's going to affect you. Right? And we're seeing it displayed within our communities. Everything, all this violence and drugs being sold, and black women hating the black man, and the black man hating the black woman, and these young bucks with these guns and all of that is a trauma response. Is an expression of our current mental state. Right? Did somebody give me the micro joint that I called for?
Sir.
Okay.
You wanted like a definition, or what would you want?
Give me where the psychological association, one of them cats.
Okay, I have this literature from I don't even know where this is from. It's titled "Racial Microaggressions in Everyday Life: Implications for Clinical Practice." But I don't really know where to start. It's a huge.
I mean, you can come on. You can pull up pull it up. Give me the definition, whatever you can find. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like it says racial microaggressions, commonplace verbal or behavioral indignities, whether intentional or unintentional, which communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative racial slights and insults. That's it.
God, do they tell you how it affects you mentally?
Oh yeah. Hold on. All right, it says forms of racial microaggressions. Racial microaggressions are brief and commonplace daily verbal, behavioral, and environmental indignities, whether intentional or unintentional, that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative racial slights and insults to the target person or group. They are not limited to human encounters alone, but may also be environmental in nature, as when a person of color is exposed to an office setting that unintentionally assails her or her racial identity. For example, one's racial identity can be minimized or made insignificant through the sheer exclusion of decorations or literature that represents various racial groups. 3 forms of microaggressions can be identified: micro assault, micro insult, and micro invalidation.
Right. So basically, what they're saying, like, these are this displays of racism, right? But it's done in a micro way, meaning a minimal way, right? It's not intentional or overt racism, right? So, like, meaning when you're walking, like, for an example, let's say you're walking down the street as a black man, and you passing by a white woman with her messenger bag or her purse or whatever, right? And as you pass her by, she clutches that purse and holds
Yeah.
it tight. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Right? Stuff like that, right? She's not intentionally, saying, "You black man, get the hell away from me, you robber, thief, nigger." She ain't doing none of that. But by her action that she displays, which is minor, minimal, right? Right? She's not being overt with it, right? But it's a display of racism towards that black man, right? Now, how you think that affects somebody mentally when stuff like that happens, right? Let's say you want to sit down on the subway. You sit down on the seat, and the white person that's sitting next to you end up getting up, and they rather stand up and hold the bar instead.
Mm.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
I've experienced a number of times where I may be walking across the street or down the sidewalk, and somebody's at the stop sign or the red light. If a white person's at a stop sign or red light while I'm walking by, you'll hear the door lock.
See, God, right? I know exactly what you're talking about. You walk past their car and you hear that click, 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 click. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no intentions of harming these people, breaking into their car. That thought didn't even cross your mind. But just because you're a certain skin color, right? They take it as you are a threat, right? Now, psychologically, it has its effects, right? Does it mention in the article or not? If not, it's too wild, right? I'll just continue on explaining it, right? That can cause you to have those low self-esteem, right? Those Stockholm syndrome, right? That could cause you to trim your ways in order to seek love, right? And if you don't have a healthy way in releasing those, those feelings, or at least talking to somebody about it, the way you're gonna express it is gonna be in a way that's detrimental to your mental being and to your community, man. Right? You see it amongst each other. All right. You having a bad day, they're not gonna say it to, they're not gonna say it to the person that caused them to have the bad day, right? As soon as they get around their own people, the littlest thing that happened, right, throughout their whole microaggressive racism that they experience throughout the day, the littlest thing that happened amongst their own people, they're ready to lash out on them. You know what I'm saying? They're ready to harm them, not knowing that they have a whole slew of thoughts going in their head from what they dealing with day by day, from their uncle that just passed, from their homie that just got killed, from not having enough to pay the rent, from not having enough to feed your kids. All of that is an example. All right, y'all with me?
Come.
All right, let me read this sister comment real quick, right? He said, we experience racial microaggression in our everyday activities at places like work, school, can't wear an afro at work, etc. It also happens in the healthcare settings, rejection of care, or just general malpractice. That is very, very, very true. You know what I'm saying? But we need a proper way, right, to face these problems that we have. Right? We first have to acknowledge it. Acknowledge it, black people. We have these issues, man. Now we need to way to face them, right? Somebody grabbed me where the cat that was a lunatic that Christ came onto. His name was Legion. Baba Kasha. Whoever got that, just let me know.
Come, sir. The book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 1.
All right. You get down with it.
Come. Mark 5 and 1. And they came over unto another side of the sea, unto the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit.
Right. It's a man with an unclean spirit. He had all type of issues. First of all, I mean, he's living in a damn tomb. Right? He's living in a cave. Right? You should already know that this man got some problems. Right? Read on.
Come, verse 3. Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him.
No man could bind him, right?
Chains.
Right, read on.
Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man take him. Right.
He was so out there, right, living in them tombs that they had to chain this man up, tie this man up, right? But some way, somehow, every time they tied him up, he'll get loose and get back to his shenanigans. Right? Read on.
Come. Verse 5. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
Right. Now, come on. Don't that sound like something what people would classify today as mental illness?
Come.
Right? He's doing what to himself? Right? Go ahead.
He's cutting himself.
Right. He's harming himself, cutting himself, abusing himself. Right. That is a form of mental illness. Right. The Bible will mention it as a unclean spirit because overall, that's all it is. That's all you have. Right. There's a spirit on you that making you think something that's not really there. You dig what I'm saying? And them voices that's in your head is just a demon, a spirit that's telling you something. Right. But today we're going to use today's classifications. Right. Mental illness. Right. Now, how many people that you may have know of that do stuff like this? Right. I mean, I done met sisters, I done dealt with sisters that cut themselves when they get angry.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They get mad, they get a razor, and they cut themselves. Not knowing that you're displaying mental illness. Now, what resources that we have in the community that they can go to and be like, look, I'm cutting myself. Right? Oftentimes they hide it and put, long sleeve shirts, long pants, and make sure nobody sees the affliction that they're doing unto themselves. Let alone not even being able to talk about it or find the help that they need or the medication or talk to a doctor or to a professional. You know what I'm saying? Because those stigmas that we have on mental illness is heavy within our community. All right. But I'm sure each and every one of us knows somebody who acts like this, who do stuff like this. All right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say in our community, our people get ridiculed for mental illnesses and things of that sort.
Right. God. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, the pastors in the church all day talking about demons and talking about the devil and how this person got a devil and you got the devil in you and Jesus, you ain't give me $1,000, you must be Satan and all of that stuff. All right. But then none of them put boots on the ground and deal with the hard situations of our people. Right? Christ is doing what nobody else wanted to do. They just chained the man up and just left him alone, right? And this is what they're going to do with you, with your mental illness, black man. They're going to lock you up in them cages, man. And nobody's going to have no sympathy towards what's going on in your brain. because they don't think that you have a mental illness. Them brothers in prison, they need help, man. Them brothers in them jail cells, they need help. Them sisters as well, too. They're not just violent because they wanted to be that way. Something pushed them towards that, man. And like I mentioned, the human brain is very fragile. All right? And what they go through can make or break you. What you go through can make or break you. And a lot of them brothers that's sitting in them prisons and sisters that's sitting in them prisons, you know what I'm saying, have a broken mind, a broken spirit because of what they went through, the trauma that they experienced, a PTSD. You know what I'm saying? But thanks be to Most High, under Commander General Yohana, he gave brothers who's willing to put boots on the ground and deal with these difficult issues. Right? We in the streets all day. We was in Tampa last week, surrounded by all type of spirits. You know what I'm saying? The solution is not putting you down or shooting you or putting you in a jail cell. The solution is teaching you the words of God, man. Teaching you the commandments like Christ did. Giving you your identity back. That is the solution. Right? Read on.
Verse 6. But when he saw Jesus, Yahushua, afar off, he ran and worshiped him and cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adore thee by God, that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion.
My name is what?
Legion.
Read on.
For we are many.
For what?
For we are many.
Nah. This is another clue of mental illness, man. Right? These pronoun games that people are playing today. They, we, us, them. Who are these people that you're referring to if you're just a single person? They have to be the mental demons in your mind, the legions that's in your spirit that you have in your body. Right? Like the sister said, multiple personality disorder. Right? This is an actual mental illness. Right? Where a person could be one way for 1 second, and then all of a sudden they just switched up to a whole nother person. And you just sitting there confused, like, damn, you know what happened?
It's like it, sir.
Go ahead.
And you know, it's real sad, like what happens to society once it starts to push an agenda, right? Because at one point in time, they used to look at homosexuality as a mental disorder, and you were prescribed mentally unnormal, basically, for lack of better words. Like you weren't mentally normal. That, you know, a few years ago. Now they started to push an agenda and started to it took away the whole title of mental illness, took that away, and then that mental illness grew, and now you have people who are calling themselves they and he and us. And a man can call himself a she, him, they, and a woman can call herself a him, her, something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a mental illness. That's a mental disturbance in your mind that's going on, and nobody's going to help you. And if I may too, on top of it, because what you said was so heavy, like where is the real help for those people? And you know what I'm saying, like at the Christian church, like you brought up, if they see someone on you and they say it's a demon or you got a demon on you, they'll tell you, "Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." You know what I'm saying? I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. But their idea of rebuke really just means I'm gonna do away with them. I'm done with you. I'm washing my hands with you. Go away, get away from me, and I don't want nothing to do with you no more. When according to the Bible, a rebuke is correction, fixing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Helping them. So like,
nah, damn right. Give that brother a hand, man. Oftentimes, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that also, Isupk, because oftentimes when we read certain incidents like we're reading about right now, where Christ will say, "Come out of them," or you know, get that unclean spirit out. You know what I'm saying? And people would think, well, Christ was doing what these pastors was doing. You know, he was just walking around and then, you know, and they just shake on the floor and, you know, and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When, you know, the reality is the process behind it. You know, the correction that's given, telling them what they're doing is wrong, not just making vain statements, right? With no solution behind them. You can say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," all you want. What is the solution to the mental illness?
right.
They're looking for help. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't take heed to what that pastor is saying, right? The pastor will never take it, you know, as their responsibility, or they're to blame, or they're at fault for it. You know what I'm saying? The reason why this 14-year-old shot this black man down, you know what I'm saying, is because of the Christian church. The reason why this black woman thinks she can argue with a black man is because of the Christian church. The reason why this black man is out of his mind and don't know what to do and he think he can swing on his sister is because of the Christian church, man. You know what I'm saying? That is the whole collective representation of the black community. If y'all can understand what I'm trying to say. Like what displayed in that restaurant is day-to-day life for black people, but in a different scale. You dig what I'm saying? Like, niggas is killing each other. Our women is hating the black man hating the woman. You know what I'm saying? And this is our reality and this is our life, right? But we never will say, well, what is the, you know, bigger picture here? Are they being loved? We'll never say that, right? We'll just say, the hell with the black man. He ain't no provider. Hell with this, that, and that. You know what I'm saying? That's all we'll just say. But nobody will say, well, what was the brother dealing with? Was he okay? Was he being loved at home? Nobody would say that. Was he just laid off? This is why he lashed out this way, right? I'm not justifying his actions, you know what I'm saying? But we have to understand the greater issue at hand. And it's going to continue on until we find out the solution, right? And like Isupk said, is that correction. Get down, soldier. You got to work.
No, my bad, not to cut you off.
Nah, you good. I was done.
And you know, one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing, especially like in Chicago, if you really think about it, you look at Chicago and you break it down. You look at the black community, and you see those sons and those daughters and who they being raised by. They're being raised by single mothers who hate their baby fathers. You know what I'm saying? A woman who laid down with a man, had a baby from him, and then after that treated that man like he was crap and got rid of him, and then talked to her children, and told them to hate that father just as much as she does. And now you got a whole generation of young black men who hate black men. You know what I'm saying? Who hate black fathers, and a bunch of women who hate black men as well. And the mother and the son loves the mother so much that he'll kill the man for her. He loves his mother so much and hates black men so much that he'll kill the black man for his mother.
Right. Even sell drugs for her too, so she can have her rent paid.
Yep.
Nah, that's heavy what you saying, boy. Like, this is the whole scope of the black community. All right. That one little second of that that discourse, you know what I'm saying, is a whole scope of how we interact and behave as a community, as a collective. You get what I'm saying? Like, we are suffering mentally, spiritually. without an identity, in the ghetto, suffering. And the best that they can give you is Christianity. That's the best. Or a vote. That's the best that they can give you. The hell with that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's time we address these issues, right? Somebody grabbed me what Christ said when the evil spirit goes out of a man, then he gets 7 more. He in a dry place, the evil spirit come out in a dry place, then he gets 7 more, something like that. Let me read his sister comment real quick. He said, the white man profits in every way from our mental illness. He'll only aid in continuing the detriment. Damn right. God. He'll make movies behind it. Right? It's fun to him. Right? When this is not normal. You know what I'm saying? A 14-year-old should not have to be met with that type of decision. He shouldn't have not been put in that predicament. That is a tough pill to swallow. You think he just shooting them like he's doing this from a game of Call of Duty? He's going to have to live with that in his conscience. He's going to have to relive that situation over and over and over again in his brain. Meanwhile, your oppressor, when he dies with billions in a damn submarine. That's how he died. You know what I'm saying? $250,000, his life is just, expendable. He can just, go on the submarine and he'll be comfortable with dying. You don't think they knew about the dangers of going into the sea when they went under there? They knew about it. They're comfortable though. Who gives a damn? You know what I'm saying? But our reality is harsh. You know what I'm saying? This is what we go through. And it all further pushes the agenda of separating the black family, separating the black household, but don't nobody want to address the mental state and the effects of slavery and the effects of oppression. Don't nobody want to address that. But we'll love to place the blame on the black man, black woman, and the whole black society as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody grab that for me real quick. Or if y'all want to make any statement, y'all go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 43.
12 and 43.
Okay.
All right, you got it.
When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places.
He do what?
Walketh through dry places.
Read on.
Seeking rest.
Mm-hmm.
And findeth none.
Right. Now, who is this that's walking through dry places, seeking rest, finding none? Right? Who is this?
It's like
Go ahead.
It's a demon.
The unclean spirit. Right? The demon. Right? Meaning you have a habit. You have a problem. You have an issue, a mental illness. Let's say you combat that mental illness. You combat that demon, that habit, right? That causing you to cause harm to yourself. It gets out of your system, right? Now, that same thing that you was not once familiar with, that you was once familiar with, is out of your system now. All right? Read on.
Come. Then he said, I will return into my house from whence I came out.
I would turn where?
Into my house from whence I came out.
Now, what is this house referring to?
So like,
go ahead.
A man, a person.
A person, a vessel, a body, right? This unclean spirit left out of this particular person, right now, seeking rest, seeking another body, seeking another person that it could destroy, right? And like y'all brothers brought out earlier, how this whole LGBT agenda that's being pushed, right? It first started out as a mental illness. Then it became more lenient towards it. Then it became more and more acceptable in society. And as it became more acceptable, it progressed to now there's 26 genders now. Right? First, it just started off with a weird affection. Right? Now there's a whole 26 genders now. All right? Because that same spirit that comes out is looking for more people to affect. It's trying to get more people on their side. Getting people to, behave against God. Right? Which is all a mental illness. Right? Read on.
Come. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished.
Right. He findeth it empty. Right? What is this talking about? What is the house, right? The body. What does it mean if findeth it empty, swept, and garnished?
So
Go ahead.
Like the scripture said, like he cleaned house. You know what I'm saying? He got himself together. He got himself right.
Right. Kind. Right. So now this habit that he once had out of his system now. He clean. You ever heard that somebody refer to somebody that's off drugs as clean? Right? They clean now. Right? They bodies is no longer dependent on that particular habit. Now let's say you get tempted in some way. Somebody around you is blowing vape smoke. Somebody around you lighting a J. You walk down the street, somebody's smoking a cigarette. All right. Now I'm just using this as an example. Right now, that temptation is dwelling in your mind, in your spirit. All right. Now you desire it now. Like you want that desire. Let's say you take one pull of that cigarette, one pull of that vape, one pull of that weed. Now this is just one example. There's many examples, right? Read on.
Come. Verse 45. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself.
Guess what? That vape is going to turn into crack. That weed is going to turn into heroin. Right? Because your body was not dependent on it. You was not dependent on it at all. All right? And now once you go back into it, back into the thing that you once were doing, is going to be 7 times worse than it was before. All right? You're going to take on several demons, different type of spirits. Right? Where your personality begins to change. Where you can't even behave you can't even be yourself unless you high. Right? You get anxiety if you don't have a cigarette. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We know all these things, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with, our mental state, our mental health. If we don't address it, if we don't get it fixed right away, you know what I'm saying? If we don't understand the root and the solution of it, right? Eventually it's going to continue to grow into something worse and worse and worse. So much so a brother is going to feel like he can swing on a black woman. Like the hell with that. He's so stressed out, dealing with depression, dealing with all type of anxieties. Probably just got laid off. His baby mama don't want to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? Got to deal with the damn oppressor with microaggressive racism. All right. Soon as this lady give him some lip at the restaurant, he will swing on her. He will do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the expression or the representation of his mental state. You know what I'm saying? This brother has put all those burdens on his shoulders, took in all those spirits, you know what I'm saying, without getting the proper solution. All right. You don't want to think of it as, these are ghosts that's coming out and you get 7 more ghosts in your body. Right? Think of these as your mental behavior, your habits, and how you conduct yourself, your personality. All of that is one with your spirit. And if it's not in good health, if your spirit is not in good health, you know what I'm saying, you're going to put more bad habits towards yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have more bad personality issues, more mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? More problems within your spirit if it's not healthy and right. Right? Your spirit is just like a muscle. You want your muscle to be good and healthy, you got to exercise it. If you want your spirit to be good and healthy, well, guess what? You got to exercise your spirit. Right? Let's read on.
Come. And they enter in and dwell there.
Mm-hmm.
And the last state of that man is worse than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation.
Right. This is our generation right now. You want to act like mental illness don't exist? Is mental health is not a problem in our community? Well, guess what? You're going to have young kids shooting each other. You're going to have 1 million black men in prison. You're going to have 500,000 abortions. Somebody's feeding them something wrong mentally, right? Let me get the scripture where it says, this cannot go out unless by praying and fasting, Baba Kasha. Oh, first, if somebody can find me in the Apocrypha, I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to find this, but it says, "Who was set scourge to my thoughts?" If you type that in, "Who was set scourge?" SCOURGE to my thoughts. KJV. It's in Ecclesiasticus. If somebody can pull that up for me, Baba Kasha. Should be in Ecclesiasticus.
23:2.
Okay, you got it, word?
Come.
All right. So this is the author of Ecclesiasticus, right? I think his name is Yahushua as well, too, right? Or Sirach, or one of those, right? And he's making a prayer in the scripture that we about to read right now. Go ahead, soldier.
Come. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 23, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
O Yahweh, Father and Governor of all my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
lead me not to their counsels,
Mm-hmm.
and let me not fall by them. Who will set scourges over my thoughts?
Who would do what?
Set scourges over my thoughts.
Who would set scourges over my thoughts? Meaning, who can help me and correct my thoughts? Right? Do not the scriptures say that the heart is what?
Deceitful.
What does the Bible say about the mind?
Select.
Go ahead.
The heart is deceitful.
The heart is deceitful. Right? Talking about your mind is deceitful. Right? Your mind can play tricks on you. Right? And without a proper counsel or a proper tutor, somebody that can give you the help that you need, you know what I'm saying? You can visualize and think about things and think you see things that's not really there. Or make heightened situations that's not that severe. You know what I'm saying? And this brother is praying like, who will set scourge to my thoughts? Right? He's praying to the Most High because he knows that this only comes from the Lord. All right? Like the brother said, correction. Truly understanding how your brain works. All right? Read on.
Okay. And the discipline of wisdom over my heart.
Right. Discipline of wisdom over my heart, over my mind. Right? Read on.
That they spare me not for my ignorance.
For my what?
from my ignorance.
All right, guess what? They will not spare you in this captivity. You will get no sympathy and no sorrow at all. Definitely not from your oppressor. All right? We have to acknowledge that this is very, very much true. Right? So let's get that in the scripture acts with prayer and fasting. Let's get to some of these solutions. Right? He asks the question, who will set scores to my thoughts and who will give me discipline at heart? Right? Let's go ahead and read that.
Matthew 17 and 19. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, why could not we cast him out?
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief.
Because of what?
Your unbelief.
Right. Remember how we read how when the unclean spirit comes out of a man, right? And if he goes back, that he brings on several more unclean spirits unto himself, right? So these disciples of Christ is trying to cast out unclean spirits out of people, right? Dealing with their issues, their problems, correcting them, not just going around and shabba-la-ba-ba-ba shaking people, right? They're teaching them, right? And they're not having no good, strong effects, right? No good outcome or results out of what they're doing, right? So they go to their leader, their Adawan, right? And he's gonna give them the understanding of how to get things done, right? Read on.
Matthew 17 and 20. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto the mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Right. Listen, you got to believe, right? Meaning this, you got to believe whatever the men of the Lord tell you to do in order to help with your mental illness. Have faith in it that God is behind your solution. You may not understand it. Whatever they telling you may not understand it at that particular moment, but in the long run, it's going to help you. If they tell you to take medication from a doctor, please take your medication. All right? If they tell you to go outside and take a walk, please just go outside and take a walk. If they tell you to go and talk and speak with this person and, mend the differences with that person, please do it. Because that could be the source of your mental illness and you don't even know it. Everything has its cause and its effects. So you must have faith, right? Read on.
Verse 21. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting.
But by what?
Prayer and fasting.
Or by prayer and fasting. Right? What's the benefits of fasting? Can somebody tell me?
It's like you, sir.
Go ahead.
It builds your spirit up to deny yourself of lustful things.
Khan, you're exactly right. Unless you want to say anything more.
No, that was about it.
Khan, yeah, I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? All right. You can build your spirit up with that fast. Right? It's an exercise. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? The sister said rejuvenation. All right, you definitely do be feeling rejuvenated, right? After you get that cold water, get a cold drink of water after a fast. You know what I'm saying? You feel like a brand new person. You feel me? Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's benefits to it. right? You're exercising your spirit. Not only are you denying the basic necessities that your body need to survive, you also denying the things that your body don't need as well in the same instance, right? Because if you can reject those basic necessities, guess what? All the other things that you can also reject that your body's dependent on, right? That you are dependent on, right? This is stuff that you need to, you know, some of the stuff that you need to practice in order to help out your spirit, to help yourself and help your mental well-being, right? For me, right? Sometimes I like to meditate for me, right? So what I'll do, I'll, get on my bike, I'll ride all the way to the park, right? They got this park out here in Kissimmee, got a huge lake. You know what I mean? I just sit in front of that lake and just read through the Apocrypha. That's just what I like to do. Right? Now, am I getting beamed up with special information by doing this? No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Does this make me more important than the next man that don't do this? No, it don't. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that helps me exercise my spirit and calm my mind down. You know what I'm saying? Because I got all type of thoughts that go through my mind as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts of, harming this person or being mad at this person or cussing this person out or this person stressing me out, dealing with damn slavery, dealing with this. So, you know what I'm saying? So I find ways to help myself out. Now, if it becomes too stressful, the main thing that anybody should do is pick up that phone. Pick up that phone and seek counsel. It's the perfect thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And that way you can get the solution to what's going on in your brain, to the thoughts in your mind, to the stuff that you're dealing with. But like I mentioned, it is a process that you have to work at. It is an exercise. You have to strengthen in your spirit. And fasting is one of the ways that you can strengthen your spirit to become more strong-willed. You know what I'm saying? More strong-minded. To be able to reject things that's not good, reject bad habits, reject bad thoughts that you don't need, and produce more healthy ones. Right? Let me get Ecclesiasticus 38:1, Baba Kashah. This is lakefront. Yeah. Right. That's exactly where I'll be at. Lakefront. Go out there. You know what I'm saying? Just be chilling. All right. You got that for me, Ward?
Okay.
All right, you got it, Soda.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician.
Do what?
Honor a physician. I get that shit, it's like it.
Nah, you take your time.
Physician.
Right. Honor a physician. What is a physician?
A doctor, sir.
A doctor.
Or somebody in the medical field.
There you go. A doctor. Now, there's many forms of, doctors out there or that work within medical. All right. Not just dealing with your body, but also dealing with your mental state and what's going on in your mind. All right. There's people that's qualified to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? We have people that's qualified as well in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? Get a Lord a hand for that. You know what I'm saying? Who made this their life study to deal with what's going on in your brain, to deal with what's going on in your mind, to provide you with those solutions. Right? And you are to honor them, meaning go to a doctor. Go and seek counsel. Go to a professional and get the help that you need. There should be no stigma behind it at all. Hell, we even have a stigma to even getting bodily health as well too in the Black community. Don't nobody want to go to the doctor to get a checkup. You know what I'm saying? All of that, those stigmas we have to do away with. When COVID-19 came out, ain't nobody wanted to get the damn vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody wanted to get the vaccine. Because guess what? The stigma behind medicine. Right? You think you're gonna pray and shake at church all day and your sickness is gonna go away. Guess what? That sickness is still there. Go and seek help. Go to a physician. And if he prescribes you something while you at the office, take it. All right? Because there's things that's chemically unbalanced, possibly in your brain, from what you went through, from the trauma that you went through. Make sure you do what the physician tells you to do and honor them, right? Read on.
Come. Honor a physician. A physician. Right.
Mm-hmm. No, you good.
With the honor due unto him for the use which ye may have of him.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord hath created him.
Mm-hmm.
For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the King.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High created him, gave him that information, gave him the knowledge. Right? Everything that you need is right here on earth. Right? There is somebody that is able to deal with your mental illness. The solution should never be to shoot them down in the streets. That is the solution of our oppressor. Right? The solution should never be to harm somebody. All right? General Muhammad was just bringing it out yesterday. Right? When he was saying when he gets in a traffic jam, right, or he's in traffic and driving, and somebody's cussing him out and saying F you, he says he don't retaliate by getting aggressive or violent with them and hopping out the car and wanting to fight them and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He does the complete opposite. You know, right? He was like, you just be like that and just, let them pass. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, somebody harming you, you should always defend yourself. But, something as simple as that, let them pass, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going through everybody's mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we have to have enough compassion towards each other if we're going to heal each other. Kindness is very much important. It's needed. Kindness over cruelty all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? You think being cruel is more effective, you're counterproductive. All right? The best way to heal anybody, you know what I'm saying, is through acts of kindness. And we display that all the time in the ISUPK. They think we a hate group. We are a love group. We take all type of people, all type of backgrounds in the ISUPK. Right. Except you purple niggas, Salaki. You know what I'm saying? But if you got a mental disease, a mental illness, and if you got a problem, you know what I'm saying, guess what? You'll be well accepted in the ISUPK, man. And we have people that's professionals, you know what I'm saying, meaning with degrees that deals with mental illness and mental health. You know what I'm saying? Honor the physician because the Lord has made him. The Lord created the ISUPK as a refuge for those that suffer from mental illness. All right, read on.
Come. The skill of a physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be admiration.
Right. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's drop that. Let me get Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. And let me get verse. Let me get verse. Let me get. Let's start at verse 14.
Come on, cuz, sir. I was right there.
Oh, both side Christ.
I was right there.
Damn right.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of cons- constitution.
Constitution.
Consti-
Constitution.
Constitution.
Somebody look
Slack.
up the Yeah, if we can look up the definition of that word, somebody. Oh, shot. But you can read on Trooper
Tell
Canal.
Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
Mm-hmm. All right, afflicted in his body. All right, isn't your mind a part of your? Isn't your head a part of your body? All right.
Good.
What's inside of your head? Your brain. Whether it is your thoughts come from your brain, your mind. Keeping all of that sound. All right, you can lose your mind chasing this world, chasing the lust of this world. You can lose your mind, man, thinking that you can be a part of the society, or the philosophies of this place can make you lose your mind as well, too, man. Nothing is better than what this world has to offer than having a sound mind, good health, a good conscience. Right? Read on.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold.
Are above all gold. Read on.
And a strong body above infinite wealth.
Right. Read on.
There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of heart.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The Bible is breaking it plain and simple for you. Right? It's breaking it down plain and simple for you. Wow. Sister got the definition. Constitution, a person's physical state with regard to fertility, health, strength, a person's mental and psychological makeup. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? Having a strong mind, strong health, right, is far above anything that this world can offer. All right, and if you have those issues, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. All right, and you know, like we mentioned, right, this world has turned it into something normal now. Right, instead of helping people, they use it as a crutch now. Like you have to be, cater around it instead of getting rid of it. Right, like the Bible mentions, this place is the cage of every foul bird. Right, and if you trying to conform yourself to this place, or trying to involve yourself with this place, and thinking about your own individual success or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying, it can cause that mental strain in your brain. It can break you, right? Go to Hollywood Boulevard, downtown Los Angeles. And say, I used to stay in California. Go out there. It's filled with homeless people. And majority of those homeless people, you know what their background is? They went over there and thinking that there's going to be a star in California. Thinking they could be a star in Hollywood. But in chasing the American dream, not saying you can't, be an actor. If you want to be an actor and all that, that's cool, right? But chasing that dream, push themselves to their breaking point. Now they're living on the streets, bugged out of their mind. Right? The most important thing is serving your power, regardless of what position you're in, and keeping a sound mind, exercising your spirit by fasting, seeking counsel, meditate, whatever you need to do to clear out your conscience. Right? Read on.
It's like, sir, can you hear me?
I ain't this fine word.
Okay, okay. Verse 17. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness.
Guess what? If you wonder why black people was killing each other and dying at the alarming rate that we're dying at right now, you know what I'm saying? Because guess what, man? We live a bitter life in the ghetto. We're living with PTSD. We're living with anxiety. We're living with depression. We're living with split personality disorder. We're living with all type of mental diseases. You know what I'm saying? And the only way that we can feel to find a way to relieve ourselves from these mental illness is either harm somebody else or harm yourself. All right. And all of this comes down to us not keeping God's commandments, not keeping God's laws. We started out in Deuteronomy 28. We read you what the curse was, well, what the punishment was behind not keeping God's law. And this is the result of it. All of it is connected into one. We shoot each other down in these streets because we're in captivity, oppressed under this damn devil. But if we reel back and come back to what the Lord promised us, man, I can guarantee you can fix your mental state. All right, they say, all right, confession is good for the soul. And stop me if I'm, saying too much. I don't want to, reveal too much if I have to, but I just want to let you know, right? This, right? Just in case somebody's dealing with it as well, too. I used to deal with depression, right? I used to deal with severe depression, right? I used to have suicidal ideations and all of that. You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I'm not just saying, I don't understand it. You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I actually went through, that I actually dealt with, right? And it wasn't until I actually came into the ISUPK and found the solution, right? All of these things are just a weakness, right? And your mind is placating to your weakness, right? It's catering to your weakness, you know what I'm saying? And your mind will tell you certain things and deceive you about certain things. You know what I'm saying? And thanks be to the Most High, I was able to overcome that depression. Now, throughout the whole process, it was nothing easy. It was nothing simple to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you put your heart to it, your mind to it, your body to it, everything and all that you got to it, guess what? You can overcome it. You can overcome it, man. This is not something that you have to just sit back and let it destroy your life. All right. If the oppressor can find help, why can't we? Right? Why do I gotta be looked at as a weak ass, bitch ass nigga because I have depression? Or I'm not a man if I have depression and all that stuff. Right? If I'm dealing with this certain issue, why can't I just find help for it? You understand what I'm saying? Instead of demonizing somebody or with the stigmas that's behind it, you know what I'm saying? Provide them with a solution. And I can guarantee you, if you work at that solution, you will get rid of whatever mental illness that you're suffering from. There is a way out for you. Death is not an escape. All right? Read on.
It's like it, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
Yeah, calm. Go on, sir. But yeah, like what you're saying is, it's real crucial. You know what I'm saying? Because you chose life, sir. You know what I mean? You chose life. And a lot of people don't choose life, they choose death. Most blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, like you said earlier, we want to die. Like the scripture we read where it said, we just read it, it said a hard life. What did it say? A hard life is
death is better than a bitter life.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like we live in a bitter life out here. And that's why, black people don't care. They ready to die. You know what I mean? We ready to die. Hispanics and Native, we ready to die because life is bitter. and it comes back like what you said. They don't understand. They got to choose these laws, statutes, and commandments. Choose life. Start doing what the Most High said to do. Get counsel, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Start following these laws. Start listening to a man of God. Choose life, and you'll have a life. You know what I mean? That's better. That won't be bitter, and then you won't want to choose that. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Damn right. So
that's it. So you gotta follow the lead and choose life.
Damn right. Most High in Christ. Listen, I thank y'all brothers, man. Like y'all don't even understand how much help y'all gave me just by even being around, just by being the soldiers that y'all are. You know what I'm saying? You don't even understand how much effect you have on this nation. You know what I'm saying? People see your strength, that will give them strength. You know what I'm saying? And y'all brothers definitely gave me strength. You know what I'm saying? And these brothers and sisters out here that's thinking of harming themselves or harming a black woman or harming a brother, or a young brother has to be put in a situation to harm another black man in defense of a black woman or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You understand this, black people, that the stigma behind mental illness, we have to get rid of that and be willing to go to the solution. And I guarantee you, the only solution that you're going to find is in these strong brothers and sisters in the ISUPK.
So like you say.
That's all you're going to find. Go ahead, soldier.
And if I may, sir, like what you're saying is heavy because the hardest part and the most important part is acknowledging that you do have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like our people being denial about everything. They're being denial about their own mental health and their mental and physical state that they're denied until it becomes major,
Mm-hmm.
or until like also Nashak said they choose death instead of life. Salaki.
Damn right. Nah, damn right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, acknowledging is the first step, man. It definitely is that first step. Right? If I could read this comment real quick, it says, while y'all may or may not be clinically trained, you priests are the real physicians in my eyes. I continue to learn so much that I apply in my life, and that has saved me thus far. The water to you all. Most High in Christ. Let's give the sister a hand. It is a process. You continue to grow. I learn new stuff every single day. If you're not willing to go through the trenches by going out there, seeking counsel, meditate, read your scriptures, fast, pray, take your medication, do what you got to do, guess what? You're gonna slip and fall. You know what I'm saying? It's going to push you to death. You know what I'm saying? It's good. You have to stick through that process. And guess what? You'll get rid of it. You will get rid of whatever you do. Right? Any more on that? If you can jump me to verse 21, Baba Kasha.
Sir. Give not over thy mind to heaviness,
Mm-hmm.
and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Right. What does it mean not to give your mind to heaviness? What is heaviness?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it saying like the worrying of like things that you can't possibly control, or things that you can't really solve on your own, or problems that might be too big for you to handle on your own that you might need somebody like you might need counsel for, or just
Con,
worrying about things that's out of your control.
I'll take that answer. Con. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that answer. Right? Problems, right? Goes in that category as well. Trauma, right? Or the past, things that's burdening you of the past. Right? Give not your mind to those things, man. Right? Because it will deteriorate your brain. It will alter your thoughts, your thought process, and how to think. And eventually, if your thoughts are altered, guess what? Your behavior is going to be altered. All right? So don't give your mind to heaviness. All right? There's prophets out there that will deal with your heaviness, that deal with your problems and provide you with a solution. All right? Keyword, solution, y'all. Right? Read on.
Okay. The gladness of the heart is the life. It's like it. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
Well, guess what? Your oppressor died in the submarine. Guess what? He died happy. Right? With all the memes that's out there, it's funny. Listen, I was laughing my ass off as well, too. But guess what? He died happy. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't have to suffer with the mental illness that we suffer day by day in the ghetto. You know why? Because he's not the chosen. You know what I'm saying? We have this problem. You don't have the luxury to die in a submarine. You know what you die by? By punching a black woman in the face. It's your whole life. That's what your life consists of. Now you just another nigga that's dead, you know what I'm saying, behind some BS. That's all you are. Another number. Another body, another soul lost. Life will continue on without you. When you're worth much more than that, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. You know what I'm saying? Who you are is very much needed on this earth. We are the chosen people of God. And the Lord told us that if we keep his commandments, if we come back to his law, statute, commandments, guess what? We won't have to deal with this madness. We won't have to deal with the madness that's going through our minds. All right, let me get Baruch 4:10. Not 4:28, Baba Kashab.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 21.
28, Baba Kashab.
28, Salaki. For as it was your mind.
It was your what?
Your mind.
Your what?
Your mind.
Your mind. Read on.
To go astray from God.
Right. Our mind is far from what God told us to do. This is the result of it. Read on.
So being returned.
Going through that process of what we discussed in this class. Being returned, read on.
Seek him 10 times more.
How many more?
10 times more.
10 times more. As hard as you was going for, whatever you was going for in the world, multiply that by 10 in serving the Most High. And whatever illness is affecting you, you know what I'm saying, you will be able to get rid of it.
Damn right.
It's really that simple. Regardless, whatever you're being told in that counsel, right? You have a problem with any brother or sister. If you have any issue with any brother or sister, you know what I'm saying, make sure you do what's right. Clear that up so we don't become another stat out here. You know what I mean? That's all we are. Just another number, another body lost And then now at the end of it all, we just blame each other. You know, it's the black man's fault. You know what I'm saying? That's all we're going to get out of this. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's make an example for that. Right? This is the home of the truth. We have every solution to any problem that we go through. And the examples that needs to be shown is how to be sound in mind, righteously walking on this earth. And we do it by doing what the Lord told us to do. Keeping the commandments, loving one another. Not doing what your oppressor said to do, man. Anything y'all brothers want to add, feel free to do so.
Nah, sir.
Anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, Salaki, if I may, that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right. Get that again.
And if I may, also,
go ahead, soldier.
I piggyback off that. It's the white man's fault for everything that's wrong with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's
right. Right, sir. Damn right.
Hey, to piggyback off that.
Go ahead.
That means that it's 5 less devils to add to the torture of black people.
Right. Yeah, right.
Damn right.
Damn right, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you never will find what it means to be black and be living until you come back to your culture and your records, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the ISUPK provides you with just that. All right. So, man, anything else y'all want the brothers want to add? Anything else?
Oh, Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
The white woman and child also is the devil.
And if I could piggyback,
Go ahead.
I'm playing.
Nah, God, listen, we're going to have to do a whole class on who's the devil. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. That's going to be the Lord allowed, the next class. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man. Both sides Christ, man. The water, off in the shop. Also,
Water to you.
Officer Yawasop was on as well. Big up to every brother and sister that participated in the class, in the chat. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. ISUPK Orlando on YouTube, all social media sites, wherever you can find us at. ISUPK Florida, make sure you subscribe. ISUPK Soul Flow, right? SOFLO, South Florida. Right? ISUPK Soul Flow. Subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We building up every zone. If you want to help, if you know anybody that's in need of mental assistance or whatever help they need mentally, you know what I'm saying? The ISUPK is that place. Right? So make sure you get this word out there. Subscribe to these channels so we can build this nation up. So we don't see no more young black brothers shooting another brother down. So we don't see no more black men harming a black woman. So we don't see no more black women belittling black men. You know what I'm saying? So we can have more black men in our households. All right? Spread this truth, y'all. All right? So with that, shalom.
And if I could, hit that like button. Y'all make sure everybody watching hits the like button.
Hit that like button. You heard it, man. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the share button, too.
Pay your tithes and support the school.
There you go. Pay them tithes. Pay that building fund, too.
Come.
You know what I mean? And yeah, we out, y'all. Shalom, Israel.